So how to create more balance in life. So this is something that I am going to address here, and why, should you even listen to me? Well, it's because I've spent years doing my best to create not only the lifestyle that I wanted for myself, have the time flexibility, and also, yes, along the way, I've been able to see really what has helped me get to a place where I no longer think in terms of work-life balance. And so one of the things that you're going to be getting here are the ways that have really helped me in terms of thinking how to think about work balance, and thinking in a way that would get me ultimately there where it would no longer be a concern. Some very practical strategies that I use for myself, obviously, and I'm going to be sharing with you, but also some that I've shared with clients and help them get to that place when this was a point of focus in the early stages of our working relationship. So get ready, let's get into it. So the first thing to consider is the fact that, especially with the kind of culture that we live in, and the busyness that we've been accustomed in having in our culture, in our society, in our environment, is to just go lean. I mean, that's the first thing, because naturally over time we keep on piling things up, more so on our schedules and on our plates, and that is what ultimately gets us to a place where we feel that we need that life balance. So I feel that this is a result of having too much on our plates, even to the point where there are things that need to be removed from that plate. So the first thing to do is to just go lean. That's always what I've done whenever I needed to start a new chapter of my life. I just went super lean. And that's the first thing that I pretty much encourage my clients to do as well as we move in that direction. The first thing, we go lean, we take a look at what are the things that we can get rid of, even so temporarily, so we can just focus on the essentials. And because having that clarity of having that space of time leads to even, well, having that mental space so we can address the things that are more important to you. It can give us even the time to be able to do the research, execute the plan to be able to get to where we ultimately want to be. The other thing is to be able to get to that place where we can stop. That's one of the things where I remember when I would feel like I was on a hamster wheel. That was the thing. It became so challenging at one point because I got to feel that I couldn't get off of it. So over time, learning to create space where not only I would just stop, but also integrating to my daily routine the fact that I would have these different anchors throughout my day where I can just stop, regroup myself, spend time with myself, because that was crucial in not feeling that I was reacting to the day, but instead I remain in control of my day because I would have these moments throughout the day where I would again take the time to stop, think, readjust if needed, see how the day was going and where I either needed to make adjustments or confirm that I was pretty much going through my day as expected, as I would have it set up in the morning. The next thing, as you know, that third idea is that every time I think about it, I feel like we get to a place where we need a life balance when it's a result of us not having the life that we want. Simple as that. So for me, what was very important when I find myself in that position was to think of, well, that ideal life where that need for work-life balance would not even be an issue. So that was my starting point to think in terms of what is my ideal life. And so from there, I could naturally take the steps to be able to create that life. So that's the next important point because we need to have a target. Because again, when we are on that hamster wheel, it's very difficult to know in what direction to go if we don't even have an idea of what that ideal vision looks like that doesn't have that concern for lifetime balance. So that is one of the key points to also have there. What is that ideal life and lifestyle where it is not a concern anymore? Because at that point, we are not living a life that we want to escape, which is the reason why I believe we are looking for that work-life balance because the life that we're leading at that point is not our ideal life. But once we get to that place where we have our ideal life, every aspect of our lives fills us up, makes us feel satisfied and fulfilled. I know for myself, this is not one life that I want to escape. And I actually want to lean in even more into it. So again, the idea of having some sort of balancing act doesn't even factor into the equation. And that leads us to the next point, that fourth idea, which is at that point when it comes to, now having that clear vision, is to create the space. So let's say after going lean, we're able to get, time back for ourselves. Now we have all that time, and what can be done with that time? That's the time where we can do all the research that we need to do. We can execute the plan that is going to lead us to that ideal vision, which is really key because when we are in that hamster wheel, I remember those moments. Even when I had a sliver of free time, it was not used to my best interest, to my advantage, because I would be so mentally drained from being on the hamster wheel and having all these things that I need to do, that when I would have that free time, I wouldn't even have the energy to do what was needed for me to transition into my ideal life. And that's why it is so key to just go lean at first, create that space, because now that I have all that time, I can do all the research that's needed. That would give me a sense of what is the vehicle that I need to adopt to take me where I want to be. The time that would be dedicated to that, but also have the mental space now, because my mind now is relaxed, void of stress, because now I have the space. I no longer am drained from all of these things in the previous chapter that prevented me from attending to the things that would get me to where I ultimately want to be. And that is what makes a difference. So for yourself, same thing. As you would have that time and mental space now, dedicated to doing the necessary research, to executing and making that transition gradually. So, final thoughts. When it comes to work-life balance, it really is a way of thinking and a way of living. And it's not so much about piling more things onto our plate, but instead it's about, getting rid of what's on our plate and creating that time space, that mental space as well. And from there, it facilitates moving forward towards that position where we are living a life that we don't want to escape, because it is the life that we want. It fulfills us in every way, and we just want more of that. So that's the thing about work-life balance, to ultimately get to that place where it's no longer a concern. So I hope that this was helpful to you. And if you happen to have stumbled upon this video from a different place than my newsletter, I invite you to join it. There are more resources on there that can help you move towards either the kind of life you want to have or the person that you feel you're meant to be. And you can find the link in below here. Now, if you want to leave any comment because of some insights or questions that you have, just leave them below, and we'll reconnect with you on the next video. Talk to you soon.